In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, and peace be upon you. It is June 13th and Friday morning in Pakistan. Among today's most important news, the very first headline before you is the attack on Iran. By now, you must already know that Israel has attacked Iran. Of course, attacks like these, whether by Israel or other countries, have happened before as well. The news that has shocked and stunned everyone is the sheer scale of damage Israel has inflicted on Iran in a single attack. In this attack, 200 aircraft were used and strikes were carried out on 100 locations. 100 sites were targeted. The number of casualties in this attack is beyond comprehension. The entire top military leadership has been wiped out. They have been martyred. They have been killed. Israel has carried out these attacks so effectively that the whole world is astonished at how such a small country possesses such precise intelligence, while on Iran's side there has been such a significant intelligence failure. We had already informed you about this in our previous blog. Even though we do not have any military sources, just by listening to, watching, and reading the media, we saw that the United States had withdrawn its troops from all its bases in the UAE, Qatar, and Kuwait. And in the previous blog, I told you that it seemed Israel was about to attack Iran. If we were aware of this, then obviously the Iranian security forces would have been aware as well. Yet all those people slept in such residences where they were not safe and where their intelligence had already failed. Their intelligence had been compromised. Israel knew exactly who was sleeping where. In other words, they didn't spare anyone. As I told you, they targeted nuclear facilities, they targeted ballistic missile facilities, they targeted military bases and the residences of their commanders. They specifically targeted the army chief there and killed him. Along with that, they killed the head general of the Revolutionary Guard and the chief security general of Khamenei, who's the religious leader there, was also killed. In addition, the person who was negotiating with America regarding all the nuclear matters and issues was also killed as well. The head of their nuclear program was also killed. So let's say they have advanced missiles, advanced bombs, and even aircraft. But this massive intelligence failure by Iran has left everyone stunned. It has also astonished the whole world that there is so much compromise within the system, or that there is so much penetration by Israel within the system, and Israel has carried out many such operations inside Iran before as well. Remember, before this, their president himself was killed by being brought down in a helicopter, although it's a different matter that Iran did not openly admit what happened, but the whole world can also relate to what might have happened back then. Besides that, remember how some of the Palestinian leadership there was also assassinated, right, inside Iran, and their compound was specifically targeted, the one where they were staying. And now it is said that in these recent Israeli attacks, there was even actual guerrilla warfare on the ground, meaning Israeli operatives were physically present on the ground as well. Obviously, they must have recruited their own spies or agents there, people embedded within the system who worked on the ground for Israel. On one hand, their aircraft were carrying out bombings, and on the other, their operatives were present on the ground, participating in some of these operations and killing all those individuals. Now, what has happened is, for example, as I told you, they have seriously killed almost all of their high command, practically the entire leadership. Now, if you look at it from this perspective, only their religious rulers remain, along with the Iranian president who survived, or perhaps one or two others. And then there's the Chief Justice of their Supreme Court, or maybe one or two more, like their Foreign Minister and Interior Minister. Apart from these 4 or 5 people, they have killed the entire military leadership, and that too in a single night, within just a few hours, 1 or 2 hours at most. The biggest question that arises here is, how did they have such precise intelligence, and how could there be such a massive intelligence failure on Iran's part? Obviously, Israel deserves condemnation for the way they provoked this, for carrying out an attack on Iran that they shouldn't have, for committing an injustice and excess, just as they are doing in Palestine. But on the other hand, the world did not expect from Iran that their security would be compromised so easily. We have seen several such incidents before as well. Now, Iran will have to introspect their people. They're dissatisfied with their style of governance. Or does Israel spend so much money that people have? What is the issue that such accurate information from within their own system reached Israel? As I told you, for example, the commander in chief of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, Hossein Salami, their name is Mohammad Bagheri, the head of Iran's armed forces, Feridun Abbasi, the former head of Iran's nuclear organization and scientist associated with their nuclear program, Mehdi Tehranchi, the president of Azad University connected to Iran's nuclear program, Gholam Ali Rashid, commander of Khatam al-Anbiya headquarters, and the list goes on. Many people were killed, martyred in this whole affair, all within a single night. Now, regarding Iran's nuclear, Iran has responded. Around 100 drones were sent towards Israel. I don't think this attack will be very effective because obviously Israel is far ahead in drone technology. Even if they weren't, they would have acquired that technology from America and other places. The latest reports are that along the way, Jordan and Iraq over, whose airspace the drones had to pass to reach Israel, these countries have shot down some of Iran's drones, and the rest obviously will be shot down by Israel. So I don't think this will be a very effective attack. Just a little while ago, there was news that about 100 drones have been sent back by Iran. Now, this also raises many questions. Jordan, Iraq, these countries' airspace has been used. This means that Israel cannot attack them while standing in its own country, so their airspace has also been used. If 200 fighter aircraft have been used, then their airspace has also been used, and both of these are obviously Muslim countries, neighbors of Iran. So what exactly is going on here? On the other hand, Pakistan has condemned the attack, saying that Iran should not be attacked. They have the right to protect their sovereignty. Now, let's see which generals Field Marshal Saib sits with to take pictures tomorrow. Remember, from the very first day I said in many vlogs that all this affection being shown to Field Marshal Saib could also be because in the coming days there might be a conflict with Iran for which so many gestures are being made towards Pakistan, because Pakistan will be used in some way or another. Now, what could that use be in this situation? One possibility is that some bases here might be used, or our airspace might be used. And even if that doesn't happen, just Pakistan remaining silent and not fully supporting Iran would itself be a significant achievement. That's why our General Sahib is being given such protocol there, treated like a model child, and is being involved in so many things with great affection. You can understand that a month and a half or 2 months ago, I had presented this situation to you, explaining why there was so much hospitality, and that one of the reasons was that a war with Iran could break out at any time, and Pakistan was being brought closer to be used in that scenario. So now let's see what all has happened. But personally, I am very disappointed. Not because Israel carried out such a lethal attack, they have better technology, so they managed to do it. My real concern is that Iran's security and intelligence failed so badly, was so compromised. There are so many traitors within their system that it's shocking. All right, the next news I have to present to you is from Lahore. And it's a huge scandal that we're about to reveal. It's a scandal worth billions of rupees involving Maryam Nawaz and her top bureaucrats, all of whom have gotten their hands dirty. Those of you who know Lahore, try to picture the map in your mind. When you head towards Lahore airport, right outside the airport, on the left side, you know there's Askari 10. And in front of Askari 10 is the ring road. Directly opposite the ring road is a place where the ring road, airport road and Berkey road all meet. That spot is a roundabout from where Berkey road branches off in one direction. The ring road runs above, and if you want to go inside, you head towards Mall Road. And if you turn left, you take the service road towards the airport with Askari 10 on your right. Now, directly opposite Askari 10, in other words, Directly opposite the airport, there's a large chunk of land. It's about 1/600 canals. I mistakenly said 600, 700 earlier. It's actually 1/600 canals of government land. Even during our government, DHA was after this land, wanting it to be handed over to them for development. DHA Phase 8 is nearby, so DHA had been pursuing this for a long time. In our government, no one needed to do this because Imran Khan Sahib was not going to allow it. This was prime land, and Imran Khan Sahib had planned, just like Walton, to commercialize and sell it to bring in foreign exchange. Similarly, the plan for this land was to develop a commercial area outside the airport in the coming days with high-rise buildings and arrangements to attract foreign investment. But now new hands have gotten involved in corruption here, and a Gore government officer's residence is being built. Yes, Gore is a residential area where top bureaucrats live. There are already several GORs in Lahore, but now a new one is being built here. There will be houses of about 2 canals each, and perhaps some of 1 canal as well. Let me give you the full details and then explain the corruption. There's corruption happening at the DHA end, and our bureaucrats are also involved. First, this is a 1/600 canal area with both commercial and residential plots. There will probably be 11 mini markets and 4 high-rise condominium buildings with many condos. There will be a corporate office. The residential Gore plots or houses will number 128. There will be 105 villas, and in total there will be 444 plots to be used. Some additional plots are also included, so the total land is 1/600 canals, on which hands are being cleaned out. This is land worth billions of rupees. But what did DHA say? DHA said that these days the cost of building a 2-canal house is 220 million rupees, not including the price of the land. The land itself is not being counted here. The fraud or the scheme being carried out here is that without including the value of the land in the plot mechanism, they claim that constructing a 2-canal house costs 220 million rupees. They grossly exaggerated the construction cost, claiming that a house cost 220 million rupees to build, and said they would spend around 2.7 to 2.8 billion rupees in total. They demanded that all the land be handed over to them, including the commercial plots, which they would also sell, along with everything else. In other words, DHA is taking a huge cut from this deal. This area is just adjacent to their Phase 8. Now, another very important development has taken place here, and that is that reportedly our current Chief Secretary of Punjab is allegedly being given 1 commercial and 1 residential plot either to him or to one of his representatives, and the value of these is said to be 320 million rupees. Some people even say that he has already sold them. Of course, they wouldn't give the plots in his own name because then he'd get caught, so they're being given to one of his representatives. Whether you call it a bribe from DHA or an adjustment or whatever, the fact is that the Chief Secretary will get these. Along with him, the SMBR, whose name is probably Nabil Javed. Nabil Javed is also reportedly being given 1 commercial and 1 residential plot. Both the Chief Secretary and SMBR Nabil Javed are allegedly being given 1 commercial and 1 residential plot each. And this is not being recorded in any official government account. It's being done off the books according to reports. Of course, we'll ask them, we'll contact them, and we'll also present their point of view. But as I told you, the reports are that these 2 gentlemen or their representatives are being given these plots for 320 million rupees each, and either they have already sold them or are about to sell them. So that's 320 million rupees each on the side for them. Now, the member colonies is being given only a residential plot, not a commercial one, as a bribe. The member judicial colonies, who has the powers of a judge, these are 2 separate positions. Member colonies and member judicial colony. Later, when there's a dispute over government land, they are the ones who make the decision. So they too are being given a residential plot each which is obviously worth 100 to 120 million rupees. So they've been placed a little below the SMBR and Chief Secretary. There are stories that they're being given a residential and along with it a commercial plot. Now, who exactly gets these and how they're given will become clear in the coming days and will inform you. For now, as I said, we'll call it reportedly or allegedly because we have documents in front of us about these allocations. Now, you might say that when the time comes, there will be an investigation. Where will that come from? On the other side is DHA, and DHA means the generals. So who's going to audit the generals? That's the problem. This whole story is just shut down. It's like Israel attacking Iran. DHA has launched a similar attack on government land. And look at the land, it's right in front of Askari 10, outside the airport. And there, just 128 houses are being built for bureaucrat zone, 122 or 128, a very inflated cost at a very exaggerated cost and without the land because the land is government owned. So they're getting the bricks for free and all the rest of the land will go to DHA. These are the methods of corruption in Pakistan, and then when you criticize, they play the national anthem and call you a traitor or a rebel. This is the new Gore being built, where hands are being cleaned, and in the coming days, we'll present more things to you. But this is a very interesting point I've told you, that right in the heart of Lahore, this game is being played, all sorts of shady dealings are happening, and in the coming days, you'll see development here. Those who are supposed to make money will do so and then step aside, and as I said, on the other side are the generals, and no one's father can audit them, nor can anyone even think of it. This matter will end right here. Alright, so the well-known Pakistani actor Rashid Mahmood has been kidnapped by bandits from the Kacha area. His car was fired upon, but he remained unharmed. He was on his way to Rahim Yar Khan when he was abducted there. When they saw his identification and he told them that he was an actor, the Kacha bandits let him go. At least among the Kacha bandits, there is still some respect and honor left for artists. If he had fallen into the hands of the Pakka bandits, they wouldn't have let him go. Anyway, Rashid Mahmood has been released and he is safe. In the budget, the salaries of Pakistan Army officers have been increased by 50% and the salaries of soldiers have been increased by 20%. Am I reading this wrong or am I reading it correctly? Let me read it again. In the budget, the salaries of Pakistan Army officers have been increased by 50% and the salaries of soldiers have been increased by 20%. But even letting go can sometimes be unexpected. This also has an impact because their salaries were already low before and they were already facing challenges. I'm not saying that their salaries shouldn't be increased generally. Salaries in Pakistan are low. I believe that government employees' salaries are low. It's a different matter that a large segment also takes bribes, but for those who don't, who try to work honestly, their salaries are low. Even if they are increased, it's not really an issue. But this is a strange situation. If the officers' salaries are being raised, then both should be increased by 50-50%. Or increase both by 20%, but giving a 50% raise to officers whose conditions are somewhat comfortable, while those who are dying of hunger, 20%. These are the conditions of this country. Secretary of Finance Amjadullah Bosal's briefing to the National Assembly Standing Committee on the Treasury was quite something. As for Mr. Amjadullah Bosal himself, he's quite a character on day. We'll talk about him in detail. I've seen a lot of big acts, but none as big as Mr. Bosal's. We'll discuss him thoroughly some other time. But for now, in a country where 50% of the population lives below the poverty line, where the minimum wage of 37,000 rupees hasn't been increased by even a single rupee because the situation is so dire, nothing has been considered for those living below the poverty line. When the finance minister was asked why the minimum wage for laborers, which is 37,000, wasn't increased at all, do you know what he replied? He said the businessmen and mill owners didn't agree, mashallah. So if they agree, only then will you raise the workers' wages. But when it comes to increasing the officers' salaries, you don't need anyone's approval. You didn't increase the salaries of the lower ranks. Now, for God's sake, please don't accuse me of inciting rebellion or treason, saying that I'm creating division within the military's rank and file. There's no difference between officers and subordinates. Brother, all I'm saying is that the salary of the martyr should also be increased. If the officers are getting a 50% raise, then what is the fault of these poor subordinates? So this was the news I wanted to present to you. After that, on May 29th, Shehbaz Sharif increased the salaries of the chairman of the Senate and the Speaker of the National Assembly from 2 lakh to 13 lakh. We've already told you about this. That was an increase of about 630%. 630%. Now, just yesterday, Shehbaz Sharif of Form 47 has taken notice of the salary increase for the chairman of the Senate and the Speaker of the National Assembly. Mashallah, mashallah. This Ghazni himself approved this increase on May 29th. Now he's taking notice of it himself. First, he approved the increase himself. Now he's taking notice of it. Who are they trying to fool? Anyway, either they themselves are crazy or they're trying to make others crazy. I just want to remind you of the last piece of news. Once again, on the 14th, June 14th at 3 p.m., or rather the event is scheduled for around 4 p.m. So if you come at 4 p.m., that's fine too. It's not absolutely necessary to arrive at 3 p.m. The exact time is 4 p.m. At 4 p.m. sharp, if you can make it, there is a protest being organized in front of the Pakistani embassy in Washington, D.C. So please do come there. You'll also get a chance to meet me, and this protest is being held against the visit of Field Marshal Asim Munir, who is currently in America. So I'll see you there. For now, allow me to take my leave. May Allah be your protector and helper. Long life Pakistan.